Hey everyone, it's Robbie from Open World Games, and we are once again talking about one of my most anticipated games of 2014, Tom Clancy's The Division, and we have some awesome news today, and they actually did an exciting new interview with the lead game designer Matthias Carlson and design director Axel Rydby, so that is really cool. And they covered character gear, limited ammo, and driving. I'm going to be going over everything they mentioned in the interview. And for those of you that don't know, we are going to be covering The Division extensively on our YouTube channel. We are Open World Games, and that is what we focus on. We also have a large Facebook community of over 70,000 Facebook users, so they are a great community. I really enjoy replying to you guys out there and checking out your ideas and mentioning your ideas. I'm going to be covering them in this video and every single video I do from here on. So if you have any ideas about Tom Clancy's The Division, post them in the comments below, and I will be replying to you out here and then featuring your comments in my videos and letting Ubisoft and the world see some of the best ideas that you guys have for Tom Clancy's The Division. And don't forget, we are giving away a copy of Tom Clancy's The Division for the Xbox One, PS4, or PC. If you are interested in entering the giveaway, you can leave your Xbox Live gamer tag, PSN ID, or Steam ID below with your first name, and let me know what you guys think about Tom Clancy's The Division. I really admire good comments. And let's get into the news about Tom Clancy's The Division.
Be prepared to enter the next generation of gaming.
And first of all, let's start out with the survival aspect of the game and how extreme it really is, because the game's resources are very interesting. This game is about survival, and you will need food or water. And they actually go on to say in the interview that not only do you actually have to go out and look for food and water, but they become very valuable and rare resources that can be used to trade and stuff like that. But when it comes to having to drink water and eat food to be able to survive, that's not really what we wanted from it. Food and water will be a very important part of the game, but players will not need to eat and drink to stay alive, which I actually think is very cool. I don't want this game to be too hardcore, because I think if it's too hard, I think you can lose a lot of the fun you can have with friends, and I think this game is going to be more about the co-op element beyond anything else, and surviving together, and of course surviving against other players, which is very, very cool. This game is going to have player versus player, and I'm looking forward of seeing how that plays out. And you will be beginning the game with only 72 hours worth of basic equipment and supplies that aren't going to get you far. So you're going to have to start working with your team to scavenge for supplies and getting the resources that you need in order to survive. So that is where the RPG elements of the game are actually going to be coming in, as Rydby explained. He says, moving throughout the world, it's going to be a lot about looting and acquiring new gear as you progress. We're focusing a lot on the RPG aspects of the game, since we are very much an RPG. So acquiring loot and gearing up your character is going to be a very big part of the game. And that's really cool. I'm looking forward to upgrading my character. As I understand, your character is 100% customizable, including his or her look. And I think that is really cool. I'm personally a big fan of third-person RPG games, because you can actually see your character progressing, and others of course can see it as well. But I think the third-person mechanic really helps with any RPG, because you can see what is happening to your character at all times as you progress through the world. And what's really interesting, this game sounds a lot like Skyrim in its class system. You will not be selecting a class up front. Even if there is a basic class system, it sounds like you will be able to reallocate points and then redefine your role as you make decisions in the game. So you will want to make decisions based on what is going on around you and then plan accordingly. So apparently we should be expecting these choices between your RPG character building to be tough and a lot of fun at the same time, at least according to what IGN is saying here. And then they went into vehicles. They're trying to decide if they are going to be putting vehicles in the Division, but from what I saw from the trailers, the streets look awfully tight to be expecting to be driving around in these conditions. It looks like they are clogged with a lot of abandoned cars and stuff like that. But what would work is dirt bikes and ATVs. I think that would make a lot of sense, and it would be a blast to play with them. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything in terms of flying aircraft such as helicopters and the like, but it would be very cool to have some sort of vehicle in the game, like a motorbike or perhaps an ATV. What do you guys think about vehicles in the game? And I'm really curious what type of character you are planning on building in the Division. I personally like to be able to move quickly, hit the enemy with a lot of aggression. I really prefer SMGs like the MP5, which I do hope we see in the game. And let me know. I'm really curious to see what type of character build you guys are looking forward to, and what type of vehicles would you like to see. Do you think vehicles are that important for the Division? So be sure to let me know your opinion by commenting below. And now for my favorite part of the video, I'm going to go over your top comments in my previous videos and any comments you leave on the Facebook page, Open World Video Games. So don't be afraid to leave me your comment below, and I will be sure to try to reply to as many comments as I can. So let's get straight into it. Recently in my previous video, I asked you guys what weapons you would like to see, and Del Bokit did reply. He goes on to say, I want the AK-47. The MP5 is useless with the gunfights in the street. It hasn't got the range or damage ability. And that's really interesting. I actually do want to see the MP5. I really like the look of that weapon, and it is an SMG. I'm a big fan of SMGs, and it's interesting you mentioned long-range battles, because I do think we will see that in the Division, but I think this game is going to be more about urban close quarters combat. I would not be surprised if it is about that, because you're going to be going into a lot of interiors and getting into a lot of close quarters battles. So I'm going to want something that's really quick and offers a lot of mobility. I think mobility in this game is going to be very important, moving from cover to cover, and since it is an RPG, I do think the weapon should affect your mobility, especially if you're carrying a light machine gun. You should be moving slower with those weapons, and there should be a big disadvantage to carrying those weapons specifically. So what weapons would you guys like to see in Tom Clancy's Division? I'm very curious to see what you think should be in the game. Leave a reply, and I will be sure to get back to you. And this comment in particular really stuck out for me. I thought this comment was awesome. Philly B. Ram goes on to say, what about adding some repel mechanics like that in the Rainbow Six games? It would add some height to the game and give a different option to play. You could snipe enemies to give cover to your squad while they attack or retreat an area. And I think this would be so cool. I'm a huge fan of the Rainbow Six games. It's too bad we haven't seen anything on Rainbow Six Patriots, but I do hope they are working on that game. But the Division should definitely have some sort of verticality to it. I'm sure it actually will. I really haven't been thinking too much of verticality in that game, but with the Division, they have tons of skyscrapers, so this idea absolutely makes sense. And I got some other comments on the Facebook page, Open World Games, and you guys have mentioned that you don't know if you believe this game is realistic or not. I think this game is going to be a very, very realistic take of the apocalyptic New York City, so look forward to it. So yes, I definitely agree with that idea. I would love to see some sort of repelling mechanic in this game. I do hope they actually add that. And Thomas Audrey says, only thing I can think of is that I'm hoping there's no automobile driving. I think that everyone having cars will totally ruin the gameplay and will take away from the game. Unless they thought of a good fuel system where fuel was hard to get and you actually had to put it in the car. Yeah, actually I think that having cars in the game would possibly ruin the game. And there's so many tight areas from the demo, I don't know if they will actually add it. Ubisoft has actually come on the record stating they are looking into vehicles, but they are unsure. And they actually discussed fuel, and they said, would it be more realistic for you to fuel up your car or a generator? And I think that's telling of what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to be adding cars into the game, but what I do think they're going to add is some sort of other transportation that's more rustic and unfriendly, basically. And I do think that motorcycles would be realistic, or ATVs, and they should require a lot of fuel, of course, and they should be used only in the short term, in my opinion, as maybe an emergency or something like that, or for loading up gear after a mission and then traveling around to marketplaces. That makes sense to me. But great ideas. I really appreciate the comments. What do you guys think? Do you think automobile driving should be in the game or not? I definitely agree with Thomas. I think that it would possibly ruin the game and ruin that sense of survival and urgency. So hit up the comments, let me know, and I will highlight your comments. And again, don't forget, we are still doing our Tom Clancy The Division giveaway for either the PS4, Xbox One, or PC. If you are interested in entering that giveaway, you can leave your Xbox Live Gamer tag, your PSN ID, or your Steam ID below with your first name and tell us what you think of The Division. You can find all the details about the contest and giveaway in the description, so be sure to check out that description. We've got a huge Facebook page. We've reached 70,000 likes only recently. Come check us out on Open World Games, and be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube for all things The Division, and see you guys next time.